Wheeler III, artist, founder, president of the ONYXCON Foundation. Back again. Hold on, let me see. Let me get that low. Making sure my camera clean for y'all. All right, yo. I was live earlier and I had to cut off to do the work, the other work, and this is the real work. Hello. ONYXCON is the real work, right? But, you know, this other stuff we got to do to get by. And I did my order. I'm about to drop this thing off. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about everything. Joseph R. Wheeler III, artist, founder, president of the ONYXCON Foundation. It's the third in the house, y'all. Let's get to it. So this is what I want to tell y'all about. What I started to tell y'all about in the last live, but I had to shut it down and do my thing. I was talking about travel. I was going to tell y'all about travel. At least I don't think I even got that far. I was going to say the importance of travel and what it is to me and what it is to my organization. You know, ONYXCON is a 501c3 nonprofit arts and creative lifestyle organization. If you did not know, now you know. Hello. Okay. So, you know, any donations you give, any support you give, if you know how to do your taxes, you can write it off. It's a complete win-win to be down with us. It's a complete win-win. If you're a U.S. citizen, U.S. territory, whatever, I mean, I can't speak for other areas, but we got international fans too, so much love to that. And, you know, we do all types of stuff. We're purpose, multi-niche content. That is it's technology, y'all. This techno fallacy. It's fallacy. It's not perfect. It's not perfect. It will wear out. One of these things is wearing out. So like when I connect my charger and I have to keep the phone charged because I'm doing so much with it, I got to keep it charged all day. So I'm always plug, unplug, drop an order, plug, unplug, get back in the car, plug, unplug, talk to y'all, plug, unplug. And I think it's wearing out the jack of the phone itself. It's either the phone or the dang car. One of them is not doing right because I got a brand new charger. It feels, I mean, even the old one that I replaced would click in, feel like it's doing right, but it ain't doing right. So anyway, I'm thinking, man, is it already to that point? I always say you got about 2 years, 3 max on any of these phones, and maybe I be forgetting how old my phone is, you know what I'm saying? But it's time to replace probably. That's probably what it is. And I don't want to deal with that. I don't want the extra, because you always get an extra bill. You don't know, oh, we're going to work this deal, we're going to work that deal for you, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. Man, the last time I went in for some phone stuff, they played some serious ugly games. And they were supposed to give me a certain rate, and the guy didn't do it. He took all these big promises when I was sitting there, and I'm writing stuff down, taking notes. I got all confirmation numbers, everything. That stuff wasn't right. And then you know, you're trying to get back to him. He's like, oh, I'm so sorry, Mr. Wheeler. And don't be sorry, fix it. Like, I don't care about apologies, man. I care about looking and seeing that it's done. That's all I give a dang about, right? So I realized that this stuff just, you know, that's the biggest joke about this modern society. I think a lot of people have this fantasy that, you know, I always tell y'all, respect is everything. Respect first, then power, then money. Some people think their money gonna change the way people treat them and make things different. No. Maybe once upon a time, you know, and I had this discussion recently with some close folk to me, right? We get into these debates about these things, and I say, in some eras, yes, your status used to make people, oh, I got to do right because I don't want to lose my job. Man, people are so depressed in America with the way it is financially and have been through so much promise and disappointment, and this was supposed to be this way, and it was supposed to be, and then it still don't work. And then when you complain about it, you don't have the money to take them to court, and they know that. So, and sometimes you do, but you hang up your whole life in the legal system? Like, no, you ain't got time. So most people don't want to bother. So the whole fantasy that, you know, your money is going to make things better. No, no, not necessarily. No, sorry. That I know. And some people think this. They really think, well, I've got the money. Don't nobody can't give a fuck about your money. There's so many people who don't have money and are mad about that. They will give you static just because you keep yelling that you got money. They be like, oh, he got money? Oh, let's make this life hell. You know, it's like on purpose and really don't care. Like, don't care, man. Focus to that. That's where we at. You know, I'll tell y'all all the time why cyberpunk is one of my favorite genres. Because it's a mirror. It's just a mirror to modern society embellished with extra ridiculous technology we don't have, plus stuff that we do have, plus stuff that we do have that if it was able to do some of the things it does in the fantasy, it would be that much more dangerous, that much more powerful, that much more a lot of things, right? It's a reality check is what it is. Thanks for the thick six thumbs up. Yes, man, we rolling. We cooking with grease right now. Thank you. Make sure y'all subscribe too when y'all hitting all these buttons. I love it. But like, for real, it's like people ain't necessarily, no one's scared of nobody just because of no money no more. Money never did. It's all a joke, man. It was made up. It's a concept of, all right, let's take it all the way back. Hunter-gatherers, first human beings on the continent of Africa. On the continent of Africa. Okay? Yeah. Got to say that for the folks in the back who want to stay back there. They don't want to move to the front of the class. They just want to stay way back there. So we just let them stay. But they still need to hear it over and over again until one day, I guess it would be that's the only way it's possible. Yeah. But anyway, hunter-gatherers. After hunter-gatherers, at some stage you get first agriculture. Once people realize, okay, there's some of these animals, we can somehow figure out a way to live amongst them. We can create a system of, hey, I feed them, they stay around me because I feed them. I slay what I need to eat, only that. I harvest only what I need to eat. See, this one was balanced because you knew you couldn't do too much. You do too much, you ain't gonna have nothing, right? Okay. There's a certain time here to do these things. It's not just any time. There's a certain time in it. Okay, right. Then you get to a time of. Full-blown agricultural economy, because now you got kingdoms, because people don't went to war with each other. We didn't have as many as they did, and we want that. Well, you can't just have it. I don't want to trade. I'm gonna take because I'm stronger than you. What, man? Look, we've been trading for years. Somebody killed somebody. Okay. I know it sounds silly, but I'm getting to a bigger point because it's real, okay? In the guise of human, and then you get into all types of jealousies and everything else, and whatever people place value on. Because some things that some cultures put value on, other people didn't put value on. That wasn't what was important. So it's not the same across the board. Everybody didn't do the same thing. There is human nature involved. If you're talking about human beings, there's definitely always human nature at play. But the way it manifests is different through cultural significance. And there is no one type of African, one type of Asian, one type of European, one type of anybody on this entire planet. Everybody had their own things going on. Okay. And then you get to the point of agricultural era, you get into, and really the agricultural era is so huge. It really affects everything. And it still does. It still does. Every one of these eras still affects everything. The hunter-gatherer is still in your nature no matter what. Most people deny that, but that is still in your nature as a human being. Okay? All y'all who fantasize about post-apocalyptic living and all of that, yeah. It's in your nature. It's survival, y'all. It's survival. But anyway, hunter-gatherer, barter trade, agricultural, after agricultural, industrial. Oh, industrial revolution, industrial this, industrial that. Now we got machinery involved. Heavy machinery. Mass production, era of the factory. After the factory jobs started to die, you begin the technological era. The factories didn't completely die. Of course, there's still factories. But the tech age brought in all kind of new changes and new realities that had to be faced. And now we are living in the cyber tech era. The AI-infused cyber tech era. The beginnings of the AI era, which is still tech, but it's the ultra advanced tech era. So when you really get literal about what all that means on a financial basis, and starting with the time of the agricultural, you would have had your first currencies, money systems, banking systems, government controlled banking system globally, or starting to become global, because it wasn't global, it became global. It was mostly enforced by European colonization and imperialism. It's not to say other people didn't have money systems before then. Of course they did. But I'm saying the way of it, the structure of it that has become the norm we know, is because of European colonization and imperialism. Okay? And as I said before, all Europeans did not participate in this. All Europeans are not at fault. Even the ones from countries who are at fault. Not everybody was in agreement with this nonsense. Not everybody was cool with this imperialist mind state, because they were victims of it at home before they got on the ships. See a movie called Caldwell. I always love to go back to that. That's in your syllabus. You have to read that one for the course. Caldwell. You have to watch that. Caldwell and Barry Windsor by the late, great, legendary Kubrick, Stanley Kubrick, one of the greatest filmmakers ever. Rightfully so. Some people get them titles and I'll be like, this is what y'all was talking about, so goddamn great. Whatever. No, that one, Kubrick, the motherfucking man. That's the man right there. Kubrick is the truth. The truthicus. He the truthicus. For real though. Check that out. It's required reading. And you will read the film, because it's that level of intelligence. You're going to have to read it. You have to understand, read between the lines of what you're watching and hearing. You're going to have to understand them things. It gets deep into the psychology of that imperialistic mind state and where it came from and what it was about and why it starts at home, people. Before anybody else was ever abused and misused and disrespected to this day, it started at home. Folks was practicing on each other. You understand? Watch the movies, I'm telling you, it's in the syllabus. You got to watch these. Caldwell, all right, and Barry Windsor. Two different films, very good films. Required viewing. There you go. That's in your syllabus. Thanks for the 8 thumbs up. Appreciate you. Oh, we really rocking and rolling today. There's some real ones in here. That's some real ones in here. That's my Monetization Nation reporting for duty for 2026. We're going all the way. I keep telling you, we're going all the way in 2026. Please believe it. So, back to the point. So at the point where you are with, after all these different currency systems and constant money dictating lifestyle, money dictating people's status and all of this stuff, right? At a certain point in history, in no point in history do people under oppression stay completely under oppression. At some point, the mindset says, man, wait a minute now. I know you playing me, but you ain't gonna play me forever. You ain't gonna play me generation to generation to generation to generation. And yet, so then they have to come up, the powers that be have to come up with new ways to play you, because the old ways don't work no more. And they always studying you, trying to figure out how to play you, so they gotta come up with something new. See? So I get into this debate with some folks, like I say, about, people who I hear say stuff, and I'm like, do you know how old what you're saying is? Like, that doesn't apply anymore. People really don't care about what you're talking about anymore. What you think matters doesn't matter anymore. Like, and they don't understand that, because this is the thing you have to be leery of as you get older. We got to know our way. You got to be set enough in your ways when it's the wisdom of your ways. And you got to know the difference too. You got to know what was actually functional that you believed in all your life and what was always dysfunctional. And the hardest part about that for most people is they don't realize that if they're surrounded by friends and family who support the dysfunction, no one's telling them, that's some dysfunctional ass bullshit you talking about. If no one's saying that, they don't have any reason to change, because everybody around them supports what they're talking about. And if you got a whole community of people who support what they're talking about and what they think is the right way and all that, why would they change? You understand? So the same thing is happening on various levels And it happens generationally. And it happens within families. It happens within friend connections. It happens in all these levels, right? And I've been realizing for years, nothing new, but I guess I've just, entering 2026, I've just made a decision for myself. I'm about to be unapologetically me. I always have been, but I mean to the point where even if it concerns or frustrates people the closest to me, I ain't got to worry about losing no love, man. We know we love each other, so I ain't worried about that. But I am going to be more concerned about not losing my mind while trying to make their minds at ease about whatever I'm doing in my life. See, you are living your life and your life only. That's a hard concept for people who love you, friends and family. It's very hard for them to accept. It's very hard for any of us to accept, because we all want to make the version of people around us that we see them being. I want them to be the way I wanted them to always be. That ain't got to do with who they own damn be. It really don't. And you have to accept that. And that literally means sometimes, you know, there's all this, I noticed there's a lot of, in America especially, at least in my experience of America. I haven't ever lived anywhere else, but my passion for wanting to travel has given me a taste of how this is still true all over the world, you know, everything I'm talking about. But it's a little different with how people, I put it like this. Whenever I've been in any of the three major, I've been Malaysia, Mexico, República Dominicana. Okay, shout out DR. I say it the way it's said. That's why I always say it the way I do. It's really RD, not say it. República Dominicana. Okay? When I was in all three of those places, with the exception of a few minor ridiculous moments that had nothing to do with anybody who had significance or power in anything, trying to dictate what I was going to be able to do or not do or something like that. Most people, as a tourist being there, they don't even when you tell them, you know, hey, like in a Spanish-speaking country, Mexico, Dominican Republic, I'm like, okay, I don't really speak poquito, and everybody, that's the favorite. They love to hear. They laugh because at least you know that it's kid to them. It's like, hey man, he trying. He don't know, but he know enough to even say that. And you get a little bit more. You get regard. You get sympathy. You get, I'll work with you, right? In America, unless you meet somebody like me, I watch it all the time. I see it all the time. People from other countries, they can't speak but the language they come from. But they're here, and they got as much right to be here as any damn body. And most Americans, man, you're struggling to try to figure out what's what. They just, hey man, don't ask me nothing. Leave me alone. Huh? What are you talking about? Just all this ignorant conversation, all this hate type energy, like really retarded type stuff, you know? What's up, y'all? What's up? Whoever it is saying what's up, I see you. What's up? You know? Damn, I hate. Okay. Back. Yes, indeed. Here we go. All right. As I was saying, before I was so technologically interrupted. I ain't said that in a while. That's one of my phrases. Y'all like that? I love it. If you hear, you must love it. So check it, y'all. Here's what I wanted to say. I was talking about, you know, how money and cultural things be different in my experience so far, with certain cultural things when I'm traveling versus in America. Things I notice about how Americans treat people from other countries in general, not everybody, because I know plenty of people who work with people from other places, whatever. But when some people come and they're not like, you know, I ain't talking about, you know, doctors and lawyers and other super extra. You know what? I am talking about, it could be people, I've met people who, because credits don't transfer here for a job, they are doctors, they are lawyers, they are all these so-called, you know, the major jobs, the big paying jobs, tech people, scientists, you know, all that kind of stuff. And they were doing ride share. Like, I'm talking about rides I took. I ain't talking about I think I know it. I'm talking about I experienced this here. You know, I can't remember. I'm trying to remember the last time it was this ride I took one time. It's been years ago. But me and this brother talked the whole ride, and it's from, I forget what country, but something in Eastern Europe. And he was like, I mean, he had a major education, a lot of experience and stuff, but none of it worked for getting him a job here. So he was doing ride share. He said, hey man, I'm surviving. I gotta feed my family. He was a father, he's a husband, and come on, you know. I met a lady who was used to be a professor one time. She was Russian, sweet little old lady that worked there. She was went to one of the centers I used to work at when I used to teach seniors. And she was one of my favorite students because she was so funny to me. She always would like, she latched onto me because she understood. She's like, okay, whoever the teacher is will help me get the stuff I want out of this class. So I'm gonna kiss up to the teacher all day, right? And it was one of these situations where I was doing poured ceramics. So, you know, you had the heavy molds, if you know what I'm talking about. And you had to strap them up and get them a certain way and all this stuff. And all them seniors would want their stuff. And everybody be begging to get something, be the next one to get certain things poured. And I had a list for who was what and what line. And there had not been no order like that until I came in, and it was hilarious. And so as soon as I got up in there, man, and it was mostly all older black women in this particular demographic of where I was. So, you know, naturally they treated me like grandson and all that kind of energy. But at the same time, I noticed as soon as this lady from another place latched on to me, it was just all this attitude towards her. And it already had attitude towards her, but then it got worse because, like, you know, you kissing up to the black guy who's our teacher before we get to kiss up to him. He's ours. We possess him because he one of us. That kind of energy versus, no, y'all all students to me, and as long as you treat me right, everybody gonna get the stuff. I don't care. I'm not, you know, I'm here for all of y'all. I'm here to teach everybody. I'm not segregating nobody. It's cool. We all people up in here. We all fam, all right? But they had this attitude. There was only a few of them. I'm talking about, let's say there was 12 people in the class. There was maybe about 2 of them that got along with the lady, because it was 2 Russian ladies. So the only one that really, and actually the 2 Russian ladies didn't really get along. That was funny. Like, the other little Russian lady, it was almost like watching when pets try to get favoritism from their, you know, their guardian. Like, if you see 2 cats and one is trying to be the favorite and they rubbing the legs of the guardian, and then the other one comes up and rubs, and they swipe at them like, nah, this is mine, my person. You know, that's how this lady was towards me. It was hilarious. And then all of the older black women, they were nice to me, but they were nice to me at a distance, because it's like, as soon as I got cool, they realized I could be cool with anybody. Like, I'm not gonna treat them no different. All of y'all a bunch of grandmas to me. I don't give a damn, you know, the black ones, the Russian ones, whatever. We all people over here. I got love it. If you treat me sweet, I'm gonna treat you sweet, period, right? So they was just like, they was too through. They wasn't through with me, but they were distant to me at that point, because it's like, I guess they thought I was gonna be on the same mess they was on. Like, well, she ain't American. We don't even understand what she's saying half the time. And that's your problem. Like, if you, well, I was about to say if you went to her country, but these are the kind of folk who never want to go any damn where. I hate to say it, but that's the reality of the demographic I was in. These are the people that never want to go nowhere. Like, maybe one vacation to Jamaica in their life is living, or Mexico. Like, that's it. Like, some real average American stuff. Go to Mexico, go to Jamaica, say you traveled abroad. Like, that's it. Like, that's all they're gonna ever do when you say travel abroad. That's the only reason they would ever get a passport. Some of them will never get even a passport. Most people don't even have a passport, right? But what's funny about that mentality, be the same people that want to speak about international things based on some news report they heard. Well, I heard and I read. Yeah, but from what source? Because some of that stuff is biased. They want to tell you a certain story on purpose because it works with you continuing to be a certain type of consumer. If we're trying to change the market on a certain type of thing, being bought, sold, traded, etc., we create a certain type of identity for a place. We create a certain type of this, that, and the other about the people. And then once we got y'all all on that dumb mess per generation, because one generation, that's the enemy. Next generation, oh, those are our friends. Those are our friends. Wait. Huh? Wait a minute. Hey, hold up, hold up, hold up. I thought when y'all draw the line is drawn. No. It ain't really a line to begin with. It's situational. It's situational. As long as somebody's kissing their ass, they friends. The minute somebody says, we don't need you, we got our own, oh, it's an enemy, oh, we need to go to war. Stupid, dumb. This is the nonsense, y'all. This is the world we live in. This is how goofy really is. You understand? And I see it in other ways, like I say, how it plays out. Stuff be coming from places and people don't even know where they're getting their items from, but they got the audacity to be talking about, yeah, that's the enemy or whatever. They're led. They're just sheep in a field being led their entire fucking life and being lied to about the realities of the world they live in and being told that they live in the best place on the world, the greatest country on earth. Everybody says that that's got any kind of pride, but they say, I got the greatest city on earth. Somebody else say we got the greatest country on earth. Somebody else is bragging about we got the great. Everybody got something to say they're the best at. And in some cases it's true, and in other cases it's just the lie they're told to keep morale, because the government, no, man, we don't make these fools believe in something. We ain't got much else for them, so we got to give them something. We gotta give them something to feel like that's why you're important, because you're from the place that does this, and this. So, direct example of this kind of stuff being played out on a major scale. I had a recent discussion, and like I said, absolutely love it. I made a statement. Yeah, y'all. So yeah, you know, all that kind of craziness, right? So you got that. Well, that is one level of the reality check of America cons versus pros and things. And I'm not saying, mind you, as I give this list, I'm proud to be the type of American I am. Because when you just say, I'm proud to be American, that alludes to a lot of other crazy that ain't got nothing to do with what I'm saying. I'm talking about really being from the place of the land itself, the beauty of the land itself at its best, the beauty of the rest of the flora and fauna, the rest of nature, the best of the people at their best, because there are a lot of really exceptional people born and raised here, in addition to people who've migrated here that are just wonderful human beings. And then there's the rest that are caught up in the mess, psychologically disturbed, twisted, and there's no denying the results of what that has bred. So when you talk about the next other thing that always comes up when I start talking about living in other places and being single and seeking out beautiful ladies in my life, I get hit with all the, you know, he got more disease over there, and I be like, what? Okay, hold up. And that's easy work. I literally, as soon as I see this kind of mess, I just do a quick Google search, AI search, somebody search, because it's all AI information and huge database. I said, what are the top 5 places in the world for all cases of STI and STDs? I gave both. That means that some people don't even know there's a difference. STI is an infection, okay, that can be cured, like chlamydia, for example, can be cured with antibiotics. Not speaking from experience, thank goodness, universe blessed, knock on wood, nothing to this day. But I've met many ladies in my experience here and there that went through that, and I had to get over that fear and just say, hey man, you know, you still get tested to make sure, but you know, knowing they didn't have anything and still proceeded, you feel me? Because they'd been after the antibiotics many years ago, whatever it was, right? Yeah, y'all. Yeah, so as I was saying, the number one places, the top 3 places in the world, excuse me, with the highest cases of STIs and STDs, guess what countries they are? I said countries, not continents, because some of y'all dumbasses immediately started naming continents. I said countries. What countries are the top 3? If you attempted to name an African country, you're dead ass wrong. If you attempted to name a Caribbean country, you're dead ass wrong. If you attempted to name any place in South America, you're dead ass wrong. The top 3 places in the world, just look it up, put the words in just like I'm saying them. Top 3 places in the world with the highest number of STIs and STDs. Guess where they are? The United States, China, and India. It didn't surprise me, unfortunately, with China and India because of the population alone. It's the 2 highest populations. I think India beat China years ago. It used to be China. Population alone, that completely makes sense. But for the United States to be the size it is, and you're in the top 3 in the globe, man, if y'all don't wake up and smell the reality of all the fears you've been sold straight BS about where problems really are. The worst of the kind that most of us are always afraid of. We're always worried about gun violence. We're always worried about diseases. And if you're single and you want to have a family and you want to, even if you don't want to have a full family with kids and stuff, you know, this is the stuff, man. And when I'm telling you being single at my age, even when I tell people I'm thinking about going to other countries, the first thing they want to throw out is they name all them places I said that I'd say I hope you didn't name. They name all those places. They name the continent of Africa. They name the continent of South America. They name places in Central America. They name Mexico. They name the Caribbean. They want to put it all on those places, not even realizing those are some of the least affected places. Not to say they don't have these problems. Of course they do. Of course they do. Wherever people are on this planet, people are doing some weird stuff and creating and catching and making new stuff and making, I mean, that's a given. But when you're literally looking at the petri dish, the petri dish for the worst cases being in the top 3, this place that is always lying to everybody, telling you how it's so perfect, that's all I'm saying. I just don't want no more to lie, man. I'm from here. I'm going to be here in one way or another. But I'm going to also be wherever the hell else I want to be. And I'm not going to accept other people's fears dictating me and my life to enjoy whatever I see fit for my existence. And I'm telling you, people will do it, man. Once you tell them you done figured it out and you got a better plan for yourself, and you just want to share the wisdom, you almost can't share. That's why I talk to y'all, because it ain't for everybody, man. It ain't for all of y'all. Some of y'all don't even get this, but the ones who do, this is why I do it. This is why I'm here, to share the knowledge and hopefully save some lives and enrich some lives with the possibilities of what could be in living your best creative existence, your best art life. That's what we mean when we say ONYXCON is a lifestyle. That's what we mean when we say ain't nothing perfect, but damn if we ain't gonna try to get the best results. We're gonna look at the situation realistically and we're gonna go for the best results. In 2026, man, when I tell you all BS is out the door and all that's gonna be left is the bottom line, bare bones facts of what works and everything, I don't even want to hear people's opinions on what might work. I'm only going to deal with what I know works. That's it. Nothing else. Absolutely nothing else. That's it, y'all. That's where we at.